welcome to my channel. Well, this is kind of like a December update and a what's happening type of thing going on. Um, I was, I'm always trying to figure out what motivates me to collect things or buy things, and I've gotten that way with locks and knives and flashlights, and one of the more recent ones within the last few years and everything has been military mess kits. And I got that from watching John Sherwood. He's a nice laid back kind of guy, um, but he does a lot of, uh, he did used to do a lot of cooking and stuff like that, and with various military's mess kits. And I'd watch those, and yep, I got into collecting military mess kits. And I think that's that saying of know yourself. If you can understand yourself and what motivates you and how you operate, you're going to have a little bit better understanding of other people. Not that other people are going to act like you, but I mean, if you understand what causes you to collect things, and if you're trying to control it. Now, the big thing on me is it's disposable income. That's what limits my collecting of a lot of stuff, because if I had a more disposable income, I'd be buying more stuff I don't really need. Actually, if you look at it, it's the same way. Flashlights can be the same way. Mess kits, anything else. You can find one that you like, and then stop, and that's it. Or you can just say, "Wow, I kind of like the various different things." Like with the mess kits. It's a unique time. It's a different time in the way the military fed itself. Now military mess kits are pretty much vanished. Canteens gone, bladder systems and stuff. And with it, I think they lost a lot of stuff. The ability to make, to cook something over a fire. Yeah, flameless rations are fine, for heating up something that's already been cooked. But what if you want to boil some water for some coffee or tea or whatever? Rehydrate a freeze-dried food. I think the military shot itself in the foot with that one on giving up mess kits, but oh well. Just a canteen cup and a little stove is very handy. But once again, I've got another flashlight coming in, and it's the Workhorse TD02 this time. And I was resisting it for quite a while, but the thing that got me was Amazon put it on sale for about $18. Now, if you look at the Workhorse website, they're selling it for $26. I mean, so you get the next day delivery. I got Prime, so the next day delivery with Amazon, and a cheaper price than you can get it from the manufacturer's website in China. I mean, I couldn't pass that up. It's not a fear of missing out. It's just that, man, you get a battery with it. You get, charging cable. Now, the problem I've seen from watching almost every review on YouTube about that flashlight is it's what's known as a reverse clicky. Now, see, this is a forward clicky flashlight. So you push forward and you can get a momentary. With a reverse clicky, you get nothing when you push forward. And when you come back, that's when it comes on. So that's what that flashlight has. Guess what? This tail cap comes off. And because it's Workhorse and Sofer and everything, the threads are exactly the same. You could switch this tail cap for that one, and you eliminate the one problem that that flashlight had, which was it didn't have a momentary on. Now, there's some other issues with it too and stuff, but I mean, like I said, for $17, I couldn't resist. And I don't know that they've raised my rent, of course. I got another lease for a year, so they raised the rent by almost $75. Social Security's raise is only going to give me maybe $30 to $35 of a raise, so I got to make up the difference somewhere because I really am on a budget. Speaking of which, I'm going to get Buzz's winnings out next week because I finally got paid. They waited until the very last minute to pay me, so I finally got paid, and I had to pay all my bills, but I still got money left, to do that, and I'll still be able to get a December flashlight for a giveaway. But yeah, I think a lot of it is our brains. It's how we're wired. I mean, for me, for the longest time, like I said, like with knives, I would get one knife that I found useful, and I'd carry it, and I'd use it until it broke, or I found something better. And that's the way I was. I was kind of like a practical knife user. Yeah, it was everyday carry, but I wasn't buying a bunch of different ones and switching it out. Well, when you retire, you got a lot of time on your hands, and so this was even before I retired. I started getting into knives and stuff because knives, just like flashlights, had evolved since I first started using them. Not necessarily traditional knives, but flipper knives and stuff like that. They were considered switchblades for the longest time, and it was just like a fantasy land. There's no use having it if you can't use it. If you can't carry it, you can't use it. You can only use it around your house. I know England's stuck with this on a lot of their stuff, where they're being limited, because there's only so much that they can carry out in public. And has it helped any with crime or anything? I don't think so. So that's the whole thing about laws and everything else. It only applies to law-abiding people. Laws are only obeyed by law-abiding people, and the only way criminals respect laws is if there's some serious consequences for their violation of it. It's risk versus rewards. If the risk is very low and the rewards are high, some people are going to be motivated by that to do things that are, not legal. But getting back to flashlight, it's I try to analyze it because I don't want it. It's never gotten to the point where I skip rent for a flashlight, or I don't eat because of getting another something for a collection. I never let it get to that point, but it's always nice to just know what motivates you, why you're doing things, and as long as you're happy with it and it's not causing problems, there shouldn't be any problem. If you like buying $300 knives and it makes you happy and you can afford it and you're not putting yourself in debt and your family or whatever is suffering for it, go for it. I got no qualms against people that have more money than me. That's just the way life goes. I've had lots of money before for myself when I worked at Intel, and all I did was just buy a bunch of stuff. I even had credit cards, and I didn't need them. I had credit cards with like $20,000 limit back then, because I had a good job. I would sit there and get credit cards pretty high and then do a massive payoff on them. I'd focus on one credit card and I'd knock it down to zero. And then I'd go to a next credit card and do the same thing, just concentrate on it, do the minimum payments on the other ones, and maximize that one. And well, when I lost my job and everything, I didn't go bankrupt, but uh, I didn't have an income anymore. So there went all the credit cards, and I switched over to a debit card. And man, that is a much better way for me. Uh, since at least 2011, I've had nothing but a debit card, and that way you don't put things on credit. You either got the money or you don't. If you don't have the money, you don't get it. Uh, but you can still do transactions, like Visa and MasterCard type things where they accept, credit cards. So I don't know where I'm going with this other than just to say I am, you know, uh, my different hobbies, I'll tap into them different times. Like I'll jump into flashlights, then I'll go into mess kits, then I'll go into knives, and who knows what else. There's just all kinds of stuff. But I try to limit. I no longer buy locks and lock picks and stuff like that because I got carried away with that. And I still like to do that, and I'm still tempted. There's new stuff in lock picking always coming out, new tools and new stuff like there's challenges ahead in the lock sport still for me. I mean it's not a dead hobby for me. It's just something that I stepped away from, and I'm going to continue to try to grow that channel a little bit by regularly, not every day, but regularly putting up content to that. So I just want to get it up to 1,000 subscribers, so you can do live streams if you want. That would be cool to do a live lock picking, because that way you can't fudge anything if anybody's worried about people. See, lock sport is one of those things where it's based on the honor system a lot of times on videos. You could set it up to make yourself look like a budding lock picking lawyer, but it would all be fake. And my whole thought behind the reason why I started that channel was to document myself from the beginning of knowing almost nothing to where I consider myself, it's not up there, but I mean, I can handle most locks except for, some of the super difficult ones. And to work on those, you really have to be dedicated, to the sport. You've got to want to put in the time and effort and everything to learn how to deal with different locks and acquire, the higher security locks. And you reach a point where this is what I do a lot of times when I'm getting ready to buy something that I think I'm being compulsive. I ask myself, do you really need this? And usually the answer is no. And then I ask myself, well, do you really want it? And usually the answer is yes. So the yes usually wins out over the no, and that's how I get more knives than I will ever use in a lifetime, and more flashlights than I'll ever need. I mean, it's nice to have extra stuff, really, but I don't know. You don't want to question your hobbies if you're enjoying it, because if you start asking, do I really need this? Well, then, most of the stuff I really don't need, I mean, other than the basic survival stuff, if you want to be stoic about it, there's a lot of stuff we don't need that we just buy just for the sake of buying, because, it's a new flashlight. It's something to play with, and a different switch, and it does this and that, and, so what if it's got a little quirk to it, even that is interesting, because when you get older, if things start happening, you start thinking maybe my mind's going, because like this flashlight would come on without me touching it, and I would be like, what is going on? I don't believe in ghosts and stuff like that, or poltergeist. I'd rather try to find a logical answer behind something than something supernatural. And this one was getting me until I finally, got a magnet close enough to it and was able to. And you would say, well, how often is a magnet going to be close to that? Well, I wear that little Olight magnetic iMini on my belt loop, and a lot of times this thing is in the pocket to the right of it. Yeah, magnetic field close enough to this thing will turn it on. But yeah, to me, that also is part of the fun of it, is the mystery, you know, trying to figure out problems and trying to come up with a solution, you know, workarounds and stuff like that. Like the other one with the reverse clicky tail switch, I'm just going to take this one and slap it on there. Yeah, it's going to be purple and black, but, you know, who cares? I don't care. I'm the type of person that would wear mismatched socks, you know, because they're all I got available or whatever, you know. I didn't have two of the same kind that matched, so what? You know, who's going to be looking at my socks? If you got long pants on, nobody's even going to see them. Nobody's going to notice it. So I'm not worried about fashion. You know, when you get older, that's another thing. You like goes, you don't worry about what other people think on a lot of stuff, you know. Let them think whatever they want. It's not going to bother me. But anyways, yeah, that was just a little ramble. Like I said, I'll continue to, you know, do knives. I'll do flashlights, and I might even do mess kits again, because there's a couple that are tempting that I don't need. That I've got something, you know, just like them and stuff, but it's that, wow, I'm missing this from my collection. Well, there's always going to be something missing from a collection unless you're independently wealthy, you know. And then what fun would it be? The thrill of hunting down something that you didn't have from your collection would be gone. You know, you either buy it or you pay somebody to buy it for you. You know, here, minion, go complete my collection. And then you put it up there and say, look, I got a complete collection. Yeah, you bought it, you know, all at once. So you didn't collect it, you just bought it all at once because you could. All right, yeah, that's nice, you know, that's fine. Most people are not going to be able to do that, but, you know, I guess that's the advantage of being independently wealthy. But, yeah, there you go. I just thought I'd let you know that, yeah, I'm going to, I have gaps in my videos. Sometimes I'll do a lot of them, and then sometimes I won't do anything. And it'll be for various reasons. My mind is not into it, or whatever. You know, sometimes it's physical. I just physically can't do one, but most of the time it's a mental issue with me. But anyways, I hope everyone's having a good time, and 2024 is coming up rapidly on us. And hopefully, it doesn't look like it, but hopefully 24 will be better than 23. Anyways, thanks for watching, and have a nice day.